Hi, welcome back. So, before we get started on this video, two things I want to get out of the way. One, I invite you to watch this video with an open mind, right? We're talking about calling on spaceships here. Cool? Two, I invite you to believe that there's no such thing as coincidences. I used to think like, oh, well, coincidence happen. Now, working with energy, tuning into the energetic field, like, nope, there's no such thing as coincidence. So consider that why I'm showing up in your field, why you're even interested about watching this video on how to call on the spacecrafts, right? One, yeah, maybe like you'll learn, but there's a seed that's planted. So keep that in mind. No such thing as coincidences. All right, so how should I even start this? How did I even get to this point? How did I even get to this point, right? This past 3 years working with Moldavite, it's been a journey. And it wasn't really until things start picking up, like accelerated, until last year when I found my teacher, right? Because at that point, my second year at Moldavite, I just had this bag of rocks going to Vietnam to all these sacred sites. No idea what to do with it. My life was turned inside out. But yeah, I just knew to bring it to the sacred sites and pray with it. And that took 7 months journey in Vietnam, trying to figure it on my own. And then asking people around me if, hey, do you know what energy is? Like, try talking to the church about it. Don't bother. Really do not do that. That was a mistake. Oh yeah, so how things accelerated was when I found my teacher. That was last year when I signed up for my energetic mastery program, which a friend introduced me to it, right? Consider that things show up in your field because you called on it. Like, because for me, I asked for some guidance, like, please, can someone help me figure out what's going on with Moldavite? Why is all this synchronous happen? Why are people leaving? Why are all my stuff leaving, right? 2 cars totaled within a month of each other. Like, do you know how traumatic that is? It just did not make sense to me. And like, so much stuff was happening so fast. And a lot of things accelerated when I first got my first inventory of Moldavite. So a lot of you found me through my first video, or my the one that blew up. It got like 40 something thousand views. And I was talking about, my deer accident. I went to Arizona and I got my very first inventory of Moldavite, drove back with 2 friends, and boom, a deer jumped out, collided with the car, totaled the front, airbags went off, the windshield had one of the deer's horn punctured through. Like, talk about a near-death experience. All 3 of us walked away without a scratch. And so that was before my Vietnam trip. So if you haven't watched the video, I'll put it in the description as well. That was pretty traumatic, to say the least. So I went to Vietnam trying to figure this on my own. I came back. One of my friends in the accident actually mentioned, like, hey, Tammy, he was invited to this course. It talks about energy, and he says, I think the teacher has Moldavite. So right when he said that, oh my God, somebody knows something about Moldavite. So I flew to Denver, went to the seminar, and what really got me, like, this is a $13,000 program, guys. A year-long program for $13,000. When I came back, I had no car. So it was either this course or a car. But because so much has happened to me with Moldavite, like, I just needed answers. I know a car would only get me so far, but if I could figure out what the heck is happening with reality, with this stone, like, it was worth the sacrifice. It was worth the investment, I would say. And boy, though she didn't teach me much about Moldavite, she taught me how to master my own energy. How to cut cords, how to clear energy, how to clear entities, how to clear lineage, parent stuff. All this energetic work that I had no idea about, right? Long story short, that year-long program, I learned how to be a clear channel. I'm tuning into whatever the frequency of the Moldavite, right? It was during that course that I got the hit to take a road trip across the U.S. to these national parks. When I left Houston, I had no idea how long I was going to go for. Like, all right, maybe it'll be like a month or two, because I already spent 7 months in Vietnam. Like, how much longer can this take? Well, fast forward 7 months later, I came back with different sets of moldavite activated. I think I went to like 6, 7 states within the course of 7 months, and a ton of national parks. Okay, so when I really first experienced these spaceships was when I got to Colorado first. So first thing about Colorado, if you look at Colorado, it has all these 14,000 feet mountains, and so it's they're portals. They're anchored. They're energy vortex for UFOs to come down. And so the largest one, the main entrance for the light to come through Earth's grid, is Mount Shasta. So that's where I also went. And even our tour guide who took us up to Ascension Rock in Mount Shasta, he was talking about spaceships. So, working Moldova, I'm already aware they exist, but tuning in and sensing them, it's a whole different story. Okay, so how to connect with your spaceship was something I just learned literally 2 weeks ago. Because when I was in Colorado, I've been getting dreams and visions of being on a spaceship. I made an episode on how I tuned in and it says, okay, go to sleep. We're going to come take you and the family tonight. And I was like, wait, take us where, right? It's, I don't know. That was just the guidance I got. But I never really understood on how to call on the spaceships. I just knew that they were there. And I had my rocks and my moldavites. It's maybe the moldavites were calling them in. I didn't know. So 2 weeks ago, when my friend Aaron, who introduced me to moldavite, was saying, hey Tammy, since you're like all into this moldavite meteorite stones, like check out this movie called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. So go watch that movie. It talks about this person called Stephen Greer, who started this initiation, this thing where he starts grouping people up and going out to like Joshua Tree, all these vortexes, and tuning in and calling on the spaceships. Right? If that was me 3 years ago watching this movie before Moldavite, I was like, that's way up. Like, why would I want to call in the spaceships? That's terrifying, right? What if the aliens are bad? And so now, looking like we're going to Moldavite and the pandemic, spaceships, please come get me. All jokes aside, but you know what I mean, right? It's like, oh man, something's about to go down. So I believe that is why that came into my field and why I'm being called to share right now for those to connect with your spaceship, right? Your star family. Because if you're already connected to Moldavite, something's pulling you, right? There's no such thing as coincidence. And not everyone can connect to Moldavite's energy. Not everyone's going to resonate. Not everyone's getting called to work with Moldavite. Imagine it irritates people, right? So why would they want to even buy something that irritates them, right? Some people, they're so dense in energy that Moldavite wouldn't even show up in their field. Like imagine the vicinity of Moldavite here, and like they're going through. It's like, oh, they feel agitated. Something's gonna direct them to go somewhere else, right? I noticed so many times. So the energy of Moldavite is so powerful, like it's like a force field. Okay, so in the movie, he talks about calling on this spaceship. So I'm going to read through his technique, and I'm going to go through something extra I added because his was in general calling on spaceships. I'm going to make this specific to just Moldavite, right? Because if you're watching this, you're probably tuning in and following my journey with Moldavite. You probably have a Moldavite. So we're going to call them Moldavite spaceships. Don't call on any other spaceships because I know there are good and bad aliens. So you do you. I just know I'm going to call on my star family and my light ship. That's what it is. And in the movie it says all aliens are good. I don't totally agree with that because I think there's duality in everything. There are good aliens and there are good bad aliens. Okay, so Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. So this is a technique. His is one is to spend like 20-30 minutes quieting the mind. Get into this meditative state. And then two, tune in to find where the spaceships are. 3, ask to connect with the spaceship. Right, so you're going to tune in, ask to connect with them. And then 4, give them guidance and directions on how to find you. And then 5, repeat the process. All right, so that was his technique. That's calling on any spaceships. For me, I want to be intentional. I just want to call on my star family and my light ship, whatever Moldavite's guiding me to call on. So tune in with your intuition, how you want to go about this. Oh God, if you get abducted or if something happens to you and you called on the wrong aliens, don't take that. I am not liable. Take this with a grain of salt. Tune in with the intuition and just trust yourself. Trust your intuition, right? Don't take my word for it. Just tune in. Whatever I say that resonates, go with that. If it doesn't have to. Right? If it doesn't, then go find something else. Why would you want to call on UFOs? Why would you want to call on a spaceship, right? You're only here seeking because something pulled you here. All right. So here's my technique on how I called on the spaceships. If you haven't watched my video on how to connect with your Moldavite, make sure you watch that first, because when you connect with your Moldavite, you're vibrating at the energy of Moldavite. So make sure you watch that. I'm going to put it in the description. But before we even start, I always want to set an intention on why I even want to connect with my spacecraft, right? So set your intentions. It's number 1. My intention, I would always do this for any time I connect with any field, trying to tune in with any energy, any guides, any ascended masters, is I would always start with I want to connect with beings of 100% pure light, right? Only connect with beings of 100% pure light, and it's done in the highest good for my soul's journey and the collective's soul journey. So I just make it pretty clear that only beings of 100% pure light can connect with me. Keep that in mind. So, that being said, now I would quiet the mind, get into this meditative state. The more you meditate, the more you work with energy, the faster you can get tuned in. So give it 10-15 minutes. So, 2, tune in to find them, right? So set your intention also is I want to connect with my star family and my starship. So be intentional. Don't be calling on the Greys or reptilians. Like, that's all you. I am calling on my star family and my starships. Just tune in and just wait until you get a hit, like an intuitive hit. That some kind of signal is picked up, right? So when you get that feeling like they picked up the signal, then 3 is ask to connect with the starship. So for me, same thing. If you're trying to connect, like when I do my coaching programs, the participants, before any of my coaching sessions, I would ask them, when we do a meditation, I would ask them, can I connect with their high self and their high self committee? Once I get that agreement that I can connect with them, right, it has to be mutual. There has to be an agreement. Once they allow me to connect, then they're entering my field. So that's when we keep everyone in sync. So with that being said, right, you want to ask if you connect with a spaceship. If it's a no, then you still can't connect. You can't connect with something that's literally saying you can't connect with me. It's like, hey, do you want to go out with me? No. When you keep following them, it's like, that's kind of creepy, right? You got to ask to connect. It has to be mutual. There has to be an invitation to connect. So that is number 3. Ask to connect with them. And so, right, you want to be intentional that this is your spaceship, this is your starship, and this is your star family, and you got the okay to connect. I remember when I connected, I just remember being on this ship, and I was like on this captain of the ship, and I tuned in, and I felt like there's other beings on the ship, and they're like, hey, welcome back, like, oh, I'm so glad we found you. And you don't hear this stuff. People don't talk about this. For me, trying to find this information, it's probably hidden by the government, honestly. Where do you even find this stuff? So when you work with energy and you clear so much cord and all these programming, and then you start hearing these guidance a lot clearer. And so I share with you that little orb I found in Zion. When I connected that piece, it's literally this energy taking over my body, and it's like I'm looking around as I was like scanning the place. It's so interesting. And remember, you will always have control of your body. The only time you don't have control is when you give your control away, right? And so, okay, so you connect with this spacecraft, and now that once you are connected with your starship, give them guidance on how to find you. And so, just imagine this spacecraft from another planet coming to Earth with, it is a planet where they don't even know how to go, how to navigate, how to get to where you are, right? So you got to explain to them. The more visual, the better. So while you're in meditation, I was like, hey, okay, this is planet Earth. If you, and I would envision this map of the United States, of the North America, right? It looks like kind of like this, and I would be very vivid with my imagination. It's like, this is what it looks like, right? And then it would zone in, and like, okay, once you get there, like, go this place, like Texas, little point at the bottom, like zone in there, and then, you know, a little bit on the side, like Houston, like I would find a map that says Houston on there. It's like, okay, or like if you see something like this, like look in zone there. So keep showing, the more specific, the more vivid you can get, like show it to them, because they'll find you exactly where you are. So I tried that, and I tuned into, like, I really feel like they are here in cloaks. So, oh god, I hope the yeah, I hope the Men in Black or the Feds does not pick this up. Whatever. But yeah, that's what. Watch that movie, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. So when you are connecting with the spaceships, keep doing that process until they find you. And so that's kind of where Stephen, the guy in the movie, Stephen Greer, kind of ended it. I watched up to that part, and then I didn't finish the entire part. I think I got what I needed out of the movie. So it's funny because he said, like, people are calling on the spaceships, and they didn't even know that the spaceships are there. Like, they called them in, and so people would spot all these UFOs, and the people calling them in didn't know they called them in. So it's very interesting because he gathers this group of people who believe in this stuff, or clear channels, to go in and call on spacecraft, and they would document, you know, these lights out in the Joshua Tree, all these national parks, and I'm like, that's very possible, right? And as I mentioned, like, when I travel to all these sacred sites, these vortexes, like Joshua Tree, you go in there, dead zone. There's no Wi-Fi, so it's a clear channel. Zion, no Wi-Fi. I mean, no phone signal. So all these massive national parks, there is no signal. So there's no interference. The portal, it's about this huge portal. No interference can go through. And that's their portals for the UFOs, right? That's why you see them leave and come in a flash. They're going through different portals. So give that a shot. See what you feel. And just remember, call on, make sure you, so let's go over it. 1, make sure you connect with your Moldavite. Watch my video. 2, set your intention that you want to call on beings of 100% pure light, and it's done in the highest good for your soul's journey and the collective soul's journey. And make sure that it is your star family and your starship. Do not call on the Greys or the reptilians, because that's all on you. Okay, and then you quiet the mind, meditate, tune in, find them, or invite them, ask them if you can connect with them. And once you get that okay, right, it's intuitively you get like yes or no. Like you can use the muscle test, or use your intuition, body's a pendulum, use the pendulum, right? There's other methods. I'll make another video on that. And then show them where you are. And so that's where kind of where the movie stopped with the calling in. I don't know if they mentioned anything else towards the end of the movie. Okay, so that's it. That's how you connect with your starships. Again, all right, if you watched my last Moldova energy update, I have been getting like not so good messages. It's like kind of eerie in a way, like something's about to go down, a massive shift, something catastrophic, disaster, I don't know. But I picked this up 2-3 years ago when I started getting like this apocalyptic day coming. However, this past few weeks has gotten very strong. And I mentioned in my video, like I talked to my psychic friend, super clear channel. She's also tuning to something like a natural disaster. For me, I'm getting something like a light blast or something bright light or nuclear. I don't know, but it's gonna be catastrophic regardless. I don't know. That's what's I'm picking up. Let me know if you're picking up something the same. But I mean, this pandemic literally put the world on hold, right? So anything is possible now, you know? Yeah, so go connect with your starship and your star family. And make sure you connect with your Moldavite. And then that's it. That was the message. That was the message that wants to come out. And I'll see you when I see you. That's it. That's all for now. You can like, subscribe, leave a comment, mess up the freaking YouTube algorithm. Share this video so more people can get go on their spacecraft, find their star family. So that's it. Hope you guys have a good night. And Tammy Doo, signing off.